We have seen it happen time after time after time, yet for some reason we never get bored of these isekai plots, even when some of them is just a copy-paste of a previous series. There is something alluring about isekai and reincarnation anime, and today we will be diving deeper than the Mariana Trench, exploring what makes this genre tick. And that is why for today we will be talking about the top 10 anime with a main character reborn as an overpowered kid. But before we start, be sure to hit the subscribe button and press that bell icon, as that is all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And it comes without saying, beware of the following spoilers. Coming in number 10 is The Eighth Son. Are you kidding me? Welcome to the dumpster fire of isekai anime cliches. Every season seems to have a mandatory bad isekai. If you wanted something original, look elsewhere. If you wanted something good, you should also look elsewhere. But let me dive into the pile of trash to show you how bad it is. First things first, visuals and sound. Generic and cheap looking 2D animations plus horrible and clunky CGI. It's a good indication of a badly made cash grab. Add some generic soulless BGM and you have a full picture. But enough with the show itself. For now, let's talk about that main character. His life starting with his death, dying from exhaustion due to overwork and fatigue, he is reincarnated into this fantasy world and granted all the powerful spells, skills, and abilities on a silver plate. Honestly, at this point I should have stopped watching and called it a day, but who knows, maybe you might actually like it, so don't take my word for it. Coming in number 9 is the Aristocrats' Otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. Sometimes wanting to play hero is nothing but a really bad idea that you should ignore. That is probably being instigated by some overload in hormones. Sadly, this dumbass main character didn't get the memo and jumped into the thick of it, protecting 2 girls from being assaulted only to get stabbed himself and lose his life. No good deed goes unawarded though. After dying, he was granted a new life as the 3rd son of a prominent noble family. And if all that wasn't enough, at the age of 5 during his baptismal in the church, the main character was able to meet the gods and guardians of this world, the same ones that invited him into it in the first place. And during that reunion of sorts, they each grant him a blessing and their protection as a consequence, gaining powerful abilities, magical and physical. Practically speaking, and to summarize, they made him broken as hell, which kind of took the fun out of the anime for me. Coming in number 8 is Reborn to Master the Blade, from Hero King to Extraordinary Squire. Now, ever since I was a wee lad, I always thought the life of a king is the best life anyone could live for. A big castle, money, power, servants. What more could you ask for, right? Well, apparently this king disagrees with me, since he hates the life he lived and he wishes to be reborn as a simple nobody that will have all the time in the world to practice his swordplay and get stronger. I mean, her swordplay. Yeah. He doesn't only reincarnate it as a typical nobody, he decides to gender swap into a 10 out of 10 waifu. I'm still debating if this makes it sus or not, but anywho, in this life she cares for nothing but fighting a strong opponent and honing her skills with the blade. Honestly, Inglis is literally a female Goku, but a bit smarter than him. The anime has great animations, pacing, and the story was fun, and the characters and world building deserve a chef's kiss. Overall, it's a decent anime and a good way to start off this list. Coming in number 7 is Wise Man's Grandchild. Sheen is the definition of a gifted child. After all, he was raised by none other than Merlin, the hero of the nation in the ways of magic and spellcasting. After his tragic death in his past life, and Sheen has been displaying his affinity to magic and martial arts ever since, after reaching the ripe age of 15, he was finally ready to go to the capital and show off his superiority in magic and martial arts. He even was able to use spells without the need to chant. This was something that was deemed unfamiliar and the least to everyone around him, since the chant is the basis of any spell ever. And then came along Sheen and he was like, meh, who needs casting anyways? Only noobs cast. Idiots. And as if his Wolford name didn't attract enough attention already, he just had to show off and do it in front of a crowd. Coming in at number 6 is the Away Paladin. Being reborn into a world of magic and monsters and magical beasts it's quite the norm by now. However, being raised by 3 undead beings is, well, that's quite new and unexplored territory. These 3 undead are nothing short of his own parents, teaching him and raising him to become the man he is today. A man capable of venturing forward into the world and explore the horizons. The main character art style is quite cool to say the least. However, the main character himself is a bland character with no real personality to talk about, which is kind of a turnoff. He will now have to venture into a world that is even unfamiliar to his undead family. After all, they isolated themselves from society for a really long time, to the point they no longer even know what life is like outside the bubble that they created themselves to live in. Coming in number 5 is Knights and Magic. Well, first things first before we get into this whole thing about the show, I was today years old when I found out that this main character is a guy. What? Bro, his hair and face are even brighter than my future, for crying out loud. As all these stories begin, a tragedy occurs, and in this case, it's a car accident of all things that takes the life of Kurata, an otaku obsessed with robots and Gundam action figures. With his death, he is reincarnated into the body of Ernesty, retaining his memories and fondness of said mechs. In this world, they are called Silhouette Knights, powerful machines left for humanity from a bygone era to help them fend off the hordes of monsters pouring into their world and give humanity a fighting chance in the least. Ernesty is so fond of those mechs, he is quite the capable pilot with the dream of one day building his own Silhouette Knight, a feat unprecedented in the last age. Coming in number 4, the world's best assassin. This assassin is nothing short but the best of the best. He is the greatest assassin to ever live on Earth. His mere existence was enough reason to bring fear into the hearts of his enemies, until he no longer did. Ironically, he was taken out by the same people that hired him in the first place. This only marked the beginning of his new story, however. In this new world of magic and monsters, he is reincarnated with powerful abilities as an assassin. Once more, he will put his past life skills into use. Coming in number 3 is Saga of Tanya the Evil. When there is war, the line between morality and duty merges in a sense you are no longer able to distinguish what is right from wrong, just for the sake of following orders. This is the reality of war that everyone hates and despises. Some thrive in these conditions, however. Tanya is one of those. To get to know Tanya more and what made her fucked in the head like that, we need to go back to how it all started. With the main character dying in a train accident, meaning being X and practically betting himself into a war he can't win against being X, enter Tanya, the reincarnation of said MC, in a war-torn world resembling the World War I European era. Tanya might seem like a child on the outside, but on the inside, she is a bloodthirsty monster that gets off on killing her enemies in the worst ways imaginable. Insubordination in her unit means death, or some worse fate that she can't cook up in her twisted mind. Point is, don't challenge her ever. Don't try and stand in her way, and honestly, just steer away from Tanya. She is nothing but bad news. Even though she is all of that, she is still the ideal soldier this war desperately needs. Coming in number 2 is Jobless Reincarnation. From zero to hero, literally. After wasting off his life living his pathetic existence as a NEET that does nothing but game, sleep, and eat all the time, this bum decided for once to step out of his comfort zone to save the life of someone that was going to get run over by Truck-kun. However, everything is already planned and set in stone. We already know that the target of Truck-kun was never the child, but the bum all along. With him dead, Rudius came to be, a beautiful blonde baby born to a family of ex-adventurers, with his mother being a mage class and his father a knight. Of course, in order to make Rudius overpowered and broken as hell, the anime gave him affinity to both. However, it was slightly tilted towards magic in his case. After all, he was an adult in the body of a child, so it was obvious that he would be able to read the magical books and execute the spells within them in no time. Still, you gotta give him points for training hard. I mean, he literally trained day and night on his magical stamina to get to the level he is at now. Venturing out the comfort of his home was the hardest thing he could imagine. Yet, look at him now, fighting monsters and going around the world searching for his torn family after the cataclysmic event that struck their country. And number 1 goes to The Eminence in Shadow. Cid Kagano is the definition of unfair and broken. Yet another victim reaped by Truck-kun, Cid in his past life used to train his body to its utmost limit in order to play hero and vigilante, beating up thugs and defeating his enemies with a crowbar, his weapon of choice, and honestly my personal favorite. This weapon just has a lot of utility and durability to it, and Cid knows how to utilize it perfectly. His death was a sudden one to say the least, however. Upon dying, he gained the single thing he always seeks: magic. Cid, as a mere child, was able to take out multiple thugs in a single hand-to-hand combat, with even the need to use any of his powers and abilities, just plain old swordsmanship. More like going berserk, but you get the picture. He didn't stop there, however. He even created his own organization made up of the elvish and demi-monster girls he saved to eradicate the world of a secret organization that is plaguing this world he lives in. Fun fact, he actually made it all up on the spot. Yet, somehow, it is all true and he has no clue. He just thinks it's some game or roleplay. For crying out loud, he was too damn bored out of his mind, he just decided to disguise himself as a nobody just to enter a swordsman tournament and beat everyone without even breaking a sweat. Oh, and did I mention how fucking satisfying it is to hear him say, I Well, looks like that's the end of our list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had fun making it for you. I would appreciate it if you guys would smash that like button, subscribe, comment, and pressing that bell icon to keep yourself notified about all our latest new videos. Also, don't forget to tell me down in the comments what your favorite isekai anime is and the reasons behind it. And hey, if you have any cool ideas for any upcoming videos, be sure to share them with us in the comments down below. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.